Welcome back to the Pop of the Man podcast. I'm your host, Jay. With me today, I have my always loyal co-host, Cord. What's up, Cord?
How you been? How you been? Chaos is a ladder.
We got DeLon with us today. What's up, DeLon?
I feel bad that we went on a hiatus and I did not come up with a new catchphrase to begin these episodes with. So just move on. I'll come. You just gave your same one from 2 years ago. I'll give one in a bit. You go ahead.
All
hey,
right,
everybody.
And we have John with us. What's up, John?
What up, Grizzly Gang in the building?
John.
Yeah.
John. Hiatus for 2 weeks, and this is what you return with.
I mean,
you know what? You know what, DeLon? Say yours. Go ahead, say it. Say it. You said a few minutes ago before we got on before we started.
Glicks up when I step in the party.
oh my God.
Yes, sir, Steve.
And you know what we do? We give our takes on basketball, music, and everything in between. This is a special episode. This is the Rookie Report episode where we each picked two artists that we thought deserving, two up-and-coming artists that we thought deserving breakout stars, future stars in the hip-hop scene. And we also had a 10th person who we had you, the fans, vote on whether or not they should be included on the report as well. So we're going to go down the list of artists, and we're going to discuss why we picked each artist, as well as also another wrinkle. About 2-3, that was actually a month ago when we did this. When we posted who the rookies were, we asked you, the fans, to vote on who were the best to who were the worst rookies, and we mixed them up according to your results and put them on a third team, a second team, and a first team. So we'll be announcing which team each of those rookies made over the course of the podcast. DeLon.
Jordan, would you like to tell the fans and people listening what qualifies them as a rookie for the Rookie Report?
So the wording is kind of weird, and I will admit it would lead to some confusion trying to type it out on Twitter, but the gist of it is that we were paying, the things we were looking for were your debut studio album, major label debut studio album. So like people who release a studio album, kind of like Section 80. Section 80 technically by Kendrick Lamar wouldn't count as a major label studio album because he was independent when he released it through TDE, which is an independent label. So albums released as independent labels don't really count towards major label studio albums. Also, we looked at when you first debuted on the Hot 100s. So, and we also looked at when you signed to a major label. So, if you were signed to a major label and you had a song on a Hot 100 before 2019, you don't count as a rookie. If you had your first major studio label album before 2019 and you were on the Hot 100 before 2019, you didn't count. But if you at least have two of those requirements after 2019, so your major label album came after 2019 and your debut single on the Hot 100 came after 2019, then you count as a rookie. Or it could be that you don't have a debut album, you don't have a single on the Hot 100, and you have not signed to a label. So you could be an independent artist who is bubbling. You do count as a rookie. As long as you don't have a debut album, a debut single, or signed to a major label, at least two of those before 2019, you count as a rookie. I feel like I said a whole lot of words. It might have been a tad bit confusing.
Yeah.
But as we go through the list, I think it'll make a little bit more sense when you see the artists that were selected and why they were picked. So before we get into the list in terms of who was third team, second team, first team, I just want to review who were our rookies last year. So last year's rookies, we had Boogie, Benny the Butcher, Meg Thee Stallion, Tierra Whack, Rico Nasty, Doja Cat, Don Toliver, Sada Baby, Da Baby, and Reason, which I think that was a fire list.
That was a damn good list.
It was a great list.
I think Boogie and Rico might have been the only ones that put out their project for that year before we came out with the list. So that was a really good list.
But the artists all lived up to the expectations. Like the Baby, the mix down, they were already trending in star direction, so we can't just say like, oh yeah, we saw it come for anybody else. I won't take credit for that. But people like Doja, who was still, that was before Doja really took off. I mean, now
look at her.
Exactly. John Toliver is catching more waves. Sada Baby's getting more attention. Benny the Butcher, people are saying he's better than a lot of people in TDE. Reason, yeah. We're waiting on that album.
We still waiting.
But most important though, I feel like we did a really bang up job with these.
My baby Rico. Look at my baby Rico.
Shout out to Rico. We need something. EP, anything. Waiting, baby.
Hey man, she posing for Rihanna right now, man. More important things.
Yes, facts. That's facts.
So moving on to the first artist that we're gonna talk about. So third team on the first artist on the third team, all rookie report or all demand, whatever you want to say. The first rookie is DEUCE from Memphis, Tennessee, and that was your pick. DEUCE was your pick, Corey?
He was fan pick.
He was the fan pick. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So basically, each of us picked an artist that we thought was deserving to be on the list, and then we had you fans do a vote on a poll on Twitter and decide which of those artists should be on the actual list. DEUCE was the artist that won that poll. His breakout single, Crunk Ain't Dead, is what gained him attention in 2019. Corey, I'm pretty sure you're the one who told us to put DEUCE on the poll. How you feel about this?
Absolutely. Man, I love DEUCE as a pick. Crunk Ain't Dead hitting. Whole Memphis Massacre tape hitting. Only problem was, man, you know, he had Project Pack on the remix and Lil Jon. I'm like, oh, this remix finna hit. And then they all pulled up with some flows I was not expecting, but I still love that album. He just signed a QC. He on they he was on the what's the name of the little collab tapes they be doing?
Compilation album.
Yeah, compilation albums they be doing. I forgot the name of it. He had Crunk Dead on Near, Trending Upwards, Future Memphis. Love everything he doing. Shade his head ball. Top 5 breakdances out you.
Man, I was about to say that boy been on Twitter fooling, bro. That shit hilarious.
He really has.
That boy crumping in his fucking garage, hitting that whole angle cap.
So
even though he's a what?
So he hasn't always been bald. I noticed that when he did a little video, he threw the cap in the air. I was like, "Wait, he's bald?" Like I didn't realize.
Don't leave me.
So if you notice, every rapper who becomes that guy from Memphis is always like entering his 30s or like mad old.
I kind of have noticed that trend. I think it's mostly because a lot of those Memphis artists usually they build their brand or they build themselves up over time in Memphis. So it takes them a while to gain the notoriety in Memphis and respect there before other people start catching on to them. I don't think most Memphis artists don't ever like break out nationwide, like quickly, like nationwide. Usually they've already built a well-established name in their city after years of working hard. And then they finally like have Memphis people putting other people on to them.
Man, Memphis is like middle, what's it called? Middle Ages time. Where like you gotta go up, you got a squire, you gotta become an apprentice. You gotta be somebody's apprentice, and by the time you're 30, you will be put on. And then that's probably how it goes. Everybody gotta be somebody's tutor.
You have a job forever though.
You gotta pay your dues. You ever seen that meme where it's like rappers like they skip over flow, working on lyrics, they skip on studio time and all this, and they go straight to ad libs. Like a Memphis rapper, you have to do everything in sequential order.
Everything.
You become a star in hip hop. Like there's no, I'm gonna upload a song, it's gonna become a hit sensation. I'm gonna be a mega star in rap. Memphis artists, they have to grind it out.
Yeah, it don't work like that.
It don't.
It never has.
So shout out to DEUCE. Next up on the third team, we have Flo Milli. From Mobile, Alabama. Yes.
I'll determine
when I step in the party.
that was my line. This is my girl Flo Milli from Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile.
Man, Flo Milli. I had a deep respect for Flo Milli just from her work, her output. She puts out a few songs, but they're all hidden. She's rapping such clever punchlines, all this kind of stuff, the clarity, the diction in her voice, and she sounds different than all the other women rappers that are up right now. But when I read her Wikipedia and said she shot somebody last year, I was like, okay, she's going places. She going places.
Oh,
are we hip hop police? If we discuss this?
It's on Wikipedia. It's on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Listen, she's had her trial. Listen, man, Flo Milli going places. If she puts out a project finally,
hey man, Is Remy Ma the South?
Remy Ma the South, because she fits right.
Man.
She sounds like bubblegum rap, but her lyrics are nowhere close to bubblegum rap.
You love to see it.
I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
I enjoy Flo Miller, especially like you said, she don't really sound like the other female MCs in the game. Like I really enjoy the way like her flow, like no pun intended, is quite unique.
Flows.
And was it the flow mix? The flow mix,
man,
instantly jumped out at me. I was like, this is one of those instances where you hear a song, and sometimes you hear like a song, like, oh, I gotta go download this song so I can hear it over and over again.
Immediately.
She was one.
Cash from my head to my.
This was a song where I heard it and I instantly thought, I gotta hear more from her. I said, let me go look for her album. Unfortunately, there was no album.
And then she put out In the Party, and let me tell you this. Flo Milli is, I don't even think she's trying, but all of her songs are becoming like TikTok things.
Yep.
She's not even trying, or fan cams. Boy, the fucking K-pop fans love her music.
Did she like start that? Like, did her song start that? This is the first one I ever saw.
Fan cam, I might be. I think you're actually right, Cord.
Because like when Euphoria came out, the first fan cam I ever saw was a Zendaya one, and it was that song.
By the way,
and for some reason I thought it was a Zendaya song.
Is fan cam out? Is fan cam out?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I know everybody got one. I'm waiting on mine. Somebody make it happen.
I don't even know what y'all niggas talking about. I don't know.
You don't see the fan cam?
He don't be in the comments like that. He don't be in the comments.
Yeah, maybe it's my elder statesman showing, but
you ain't missing anything. You ain't missing anything at all.
Wait, are y'all just talking about? Y'all said something about the comments. Y'all just talking about how like K-pop stands like flood the comments with like videos.
Well, it'll just be like a montage of them doing whatever the fuck to a particular song that has nothing to do with
okay.
And it's usually Flo Milli.
I have seen it. I just didn't know that's what it's called. Okay. So I'm not that old, not quite yet.
I need fan cam.
The party.
The hardest fan cam I've seen in recent weeks was one for Sokka from Legend of The Last Airbender.
Bro, with Megan?
Yes.
Yes. That is easy, bro. Yes. That is. I watched that probably 10 times in a row the first time I saw it, and I saved it. It's in my bookmarks. That shit was fucking elite.
Had Flo Milli on it, and it was that grandpa that eats paint.
I didn't see that.
The wildest one I saw was yesterday. It was Academics with Gooba playing in the background. I was not expecting an act fan.
What played in the background?
Gooba by 6ix9ine. I don't know who took time out of there to make this.
Y'all know what I just realized? You know what I just realized?
What's it?
Actually, dude, I got two of them.
You got two?
My friends that I go out with, they took a compilation of us and our escapades when we go out on the weekend.
Send it.
Made it.
But you have to know their acts. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we're gonna stream that one later.
John, you got to send it to us, John. You got to.
I'm deep frying the whole video. Just let you know in advance.
All right.
Hey, Corey, I wouldn't have it the other way.
But Flo Milli, third team.
13. So there's, just for a frame of reference, there are 10 artists in total, so there can be 3 artists on each team. The first team by default has 4 people, so you're not confused when I say fourth person. So the third person on third team is none other than, drum roll, JPEGMAFIA.
Yay, Black Man Carson!
Who was also Core's pick. A couple people on Twitter were confused about why JPEGMAFIA was able to make this list when he has projects dating back to like 2017, 2018. The answer is he was an independent artist in 2017,
It's the
2018.
first major. Somewhat major.
Yeah, his first major studio album was in 2019 with what's the album called, Cord? The one that has like a shawl. He's just like sitting on the floor.
All My Heroes Are Cornballs.
All My Heroes Are Cornballs. That was his
my
first
favorite project from last year.
It was. That was his first major label studio album, and he didn't have any songs charting before 2019. So that's why JPEGMAFIA was able to make this list, even though he had music out in 2017. So, Cord, can you share with us why All My Heroes Are Cornballs made you pick JPEGMAFIA to be on the list this year?
Last year, I'm going through albums. You know, everybody in the comment section, y'all need to listen to this, y'all need to listen to that. I just saw this one guy like, hey, man, I ain't seen nobody talk about JPEG. I'm like, what kind of name is JPEGMAFIA? So I go, all right, I'm gonna hop on YouTube, do my little Googles, do my little searches. Whole album pop up, boom. No hip-hop platform that I can think of off the top of my head was talking about it. So I said, hey, let me go and give it a spin. Heard the first song. It's right up my alley. You got them nice little industrial beats. Sometimes he singing, sometimes he rapping. He be in his bag. He got this super eccentric voice. Y'all know whenever I talk about like artists outside of hip hop, it be like that super off the wall type of music, but he fits into that lane perfectly. But he can rap just as well as your favorite rapper. And he gets into his political bag. Hey, come on now. We gonna put some respect on the Black Ben Carson name.
Well, you know, actually haven't heard Black Ben Carson. I'm more familiar with his 2019 debut album.
Check out. He got 4 projects. Check out all of them. Veteran, Black Ben Carson. I can't think of the third one. All my heroes are cornball. All fire. Check it out. This man will be here for a while.
I'm gonna say this. I love his production. Like usually, I hate like the whole industrial, just like make a bunch of random noises just for the hell of it type music.
But it hits.
But his actually does hit. His actual lyrics. Well, I don't think I haven't heard a verse from him. I'm like, oh my god, like this is like, you know, top tier. This is like an incredible experience. Mostly, he served his purpose on said song and with guiding the production and things of that nature with his words. But I had to go check out his even older projects. If you're saying that Carson that shit, I'll most definitely do that. DeLon, how do you feel about JPEGMAFIA? Do you have any opinions on him at all?
The first time I heard JPEGMAFIA was probably 2018. He did a Colors performance. I was like, this man rapping. And the Colors performance was always getting me.
Always.
They always hidden. They make that song sound 100 times better. But yeah, it was hidden. So I went and listened to his music, and yeah, I felt the same way, Corey. It was, I felt the same way as Jordan. I'm not always a fan of that style. More often than Jordan, less often than Corey.
Because I know y'all don't be rocking with it.
His hit.
Is there a Colors freestyle that y'all did not like? Is there anybody who did one that y'all were like, this ain't it? I don't think there's one.
That YNW Melly one made me a fan. I'll say that.
What's your favorite? What's our favorite one?
Ooh, Billie Eilish.
Gonna. Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
took the top off. I said that like hot sauce.
Yes, sir.
It's dripping the hot top. I ride it that phone down.
Come on now.
Talk to these niggas, Cole. I gotta talk to these niggas.
I gotta say Billie Eilish and Doja Cat Juicy.
I'm gonna say what?
That was a good one too. Don't
forget Rico.
Top 3 for me is probably Doja Cat's. JID's. I like JID's Colors when he did more than I do like the actual song on the album. Like I'd rather listen to the Colors than the actual song. And then Lil Baby, because that's what made me realize that Lil Baby.
He was spazzing.
When he did Emotionally Scarred, that made me go listen to his album right there. And
I haven't listened to that one. I'm gonna check that one out.
It's nice. But that was because I wasn't very familiar with Lil Baby before that. Right. So that was like my first real exposure to him, and I realized like, this guy can spit. And so,
Shout out to Colors.
They're doing their job.
They never let you down. They never miss.
So, all right. Moving on to the last member of the third team. It is none other than, drumroll, Chef G, the Brooklyn MC. This was John's pick. John, what you got to say about your boy Chef G?
All right. So, Chef G, I'm not going to lie, I don't have an extensive knowledge of him, but as we doing this, we start doing our research for the rookie report. I looked into him, and man, I like him a lot, man. He's like a drill, kind of like a drill artist, and apparently he's like the pioneer for the Brooklyn drill scene. And I listened to his debut. His debut studio was the Unlucky Lucky Kid that came out 2019, and then he dropped another album I think in May of this year called The One and Only. And they probably my favorite thing about him. Obviously, his strength is his voice. Obviously, particularly him being a drill artist. That's usually always the drill artist. Their pull is their voice and their flow in that, but his beat selection, in my opinion, is top tier. All the songs I listen to some songs on SoundCloud, I listen to some songs on Apple Music, like his official releases. And I don't think I heard one song that I did not like the beat. And for the unlucky lucky kid, him and his right hand man, his name's Sleepy Hollow, another guy part of the drill.
Far name.
Brooklyn. Yep, no cap. He made like that one, like half of that project is him and Sleepy Hollow, just going back and forth. And it was like listening to that and listen to like his other top songs on SoundCloud are featuring Sleepy Hollow. I'm gonna check him out too, because I honestly think, from what I heard of Sleepy Hollow on what he was featured on for Chef, that's some riding music right there. That shit is smooth. That's probably the best way to put it, is smooth. Which you don't really think about that when you think of drill. You don't really think of like smoothness.
Smooth, yes.
But I just think like the way that they do it, like they put that Brooklyn spin on it, and like they're both I think one of them's Haitian, the other one's like of Jamaican descent. So they just
okay.
It hit, man. It definitely hit. I was definitely pleasantly surprised on what I heard from him.
Core, how would you describe Pop Smoke's music? I know it seems a little random, but I promise I have a point. Would you say it's some form of drill or just of like?
When I first heard it, as he was on the trash, I was like, "What is this?" It sounded like Brooklyn drill, but it also sounded like it was kind of, it's like Brooklyn drill / UK, but the beats is not electronic, but the beats is like mad different. Like it was kind of spacey. It's really hard to
describe. Real Travis Scott. The beat was drill Travis Scott.
That's kind of because like when you pick Chef G, I wouldn't listen to him so I could have some knowledge on him as well, and just see like, okay, this guy, he just got up to snuff. He deserved to be on the list. Now listen to him. When I first heard it, that's instinctively who he made me think of. I hate to compare him to somebody else in order to praise him, but hearing him, he like the style, the way he approaches the music, it reminded me a lot of Pop Smoke. Also the way he uses his voice and things of that nature.
Another thing is, I think it's. I'm glad you said it, John. I think it's the fact that like they be from the Caribbean, and a lot of people from New York and the Caribbean also got a lot of family in the UK. So I think it's almost like ultra. It's like ultra drill, like it's UK drill, Chicago drill, Brooklyn drill, / electronic / Caribbean. It's a mix of everything.
It's different. It's very different. It's real. It's really different. It's unique. And if you're into that like type of thing, like you would definitely like, if you're into like listening to something different and like for something like it's hard to put my finger on it, but like you said, it's unique, it's different, and like if you're open to like listening to like that type of stuff, you won't be disappointed. So
it's like a big melting pot of street rap.
Literally, that's literally all it is.
Facts. All right, so we've now completed the third team, which included DEUCE, Flo Milli, JPEGMAFIA, Chef G. Moving on to the second team, the first artist to make the second team that we're going to talk about is MAXO KREAM, who was John's other pick. John, talk to us about your boy MAXO KREAM.
Young boxing legend.
2 words. Brandon Banks.
That's
all I got to say. Talk about Brandon Banks. And that album, like I still got to listen to like some of his older stuff. But I know when we were like doing our research and compiling stuff for the awards, and well, obviously before that, but like last year, the top 3, like you can put them in whatever, but the top 3 projects that came out: Freddie Gibbs, Being the Butcher, and MAXO KREAM.
That was me too.
So, and I'm pretty sure we were all in agreement, and he was in the running for album of the year. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure Freddie Gibbs won, but I know my vote was for Being the Butcher. But to me, all those are like 1A, 1B, 1C. Like
couldn't have been wrong either way. Yeah.
Exactly. There was not a wrong answer. And Brandon Banks was so good. Like I'm trying to think. Like off the top of my head, you got this the relay with Travis. You got the intro. I can't see you again or something like that, when he's kind of like speaking from the like perspective of like talking to like a homie or like a family member that's in jail. He kind of like writing. It's almost like he's writing like a letter to somebody in prison, and like you can like it's one of those things. It's like one of those songs where you can like visualize every single word.
And
like
that's
you just.
I would say that's what I love about MAXO KREAM, like dating back to his project before Brandon Banks' Punkin', which was not, just so clarity for those who wondering how MAXO KREAM make it if he had an album before this called Punkin'. That was not
it came out in 2015 or something like that.
Yeah, that was not a debut studio album. Brandon Banks was his first major label debut studio album. That's why MAXO KREAM qualifies for the list. But going back to my point, that's what I love about MAXO KREAM, what he does on Punkin' and Brandon Banks is his knack for storytelling. And it's not like the kind of storytelling that Kendrick Lamar does, where it's super duper descriptive. And it's not like, even like, I wouldn't say the same storytelling as like a J. Cole, where it's just like it appeals to your feelings. He's just great. He's good at painting the scene and taking and putting himself in other perspectives and other people's shoes when he's telling a story. And his flow and his voice is so engrossing that it keeps you like right there with him. That's the draw for me with MAXO KREAM, is when he gets in his bag and he starts rapping about his childhood, as well as his relationship with his father and his brother and things. That song about him and his brother, I love that song to death. I love that one. I can't remember the exact name of it off the top of my head, but MAXO KREAM, great pick in my opinion.
Yeah, for me, like you said, like the thing is, like when we think about like Kendrick Lamar, like his style of storytelling is so articulate, it's so complex, and like Kendrick is so fucking good and he's so intelligent that it doesn't come off that way. And I feel like when people try to do it in the style of a Kendrick Lamar, it makes them seem like they're trying too hard.
Yes.
And that's the thing about Max. Exactly. And that's the thing with MAXO KREAM. Like he's not throwing like complexities in your face. Like he's literally just like, he's making you see it how he sees it.
It's really off the cuff, as if he was sitting down telling you the story. Like he's talking the story to you the way it comes across.
Exactly. It's so simple. He doesn't try too hard. It's authentic. It's hard to say other than it's like, it's just so good.
Real.
Like it's
real.
It's, I don't know. It's that I love Max KREAM. I did not know he was that old until doing the research for this, but and it kind of just goes back into how you're talking about Memphis. But that's like a lot of people in the South really kind of like the Southern. Like they all like you say, they all hit every single, there's always those guys that, that do happen to fall upon like that overnight success and then build off of that. But he's one of those OG guys who's like, okay, I do it like this, do it like that, do it like that, like that. And then now he had one of the best albums of the year last year. And like, he's in the public eye, and, he's getting a lot of credit that he is deserving of.
He just needs to stay off playgrounds with guns, like DeLon said.
Stay off playgrounds.
First, stay off playgrounds. Even without guns. That's not a place you need to be. That's not a place you need to be. We won't be hip hop. We ain't gonna be hip hop police today, so we're gonna leave that alone as well. The second artist on the second team is none other than, drumroll, is Jack Harlow, your favorite white man.
I thought I was doing the first
Todd Cassidy.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, that's a terrible picture of him. We kind of.
I mean, he looks like Carrot Top in that picture.
I'm gonna tell you what. I tried to find a normal looking picture of Jack Harlow when I made these cards, and it is damn near impossible to find a normal looking picture.
Boy, this white, ain't it?
The plight of the white man.
This is the most normal looking. Any other picture would look wild. I would have picked. Like they're all. He looks strange in all of them. That's the thing about it.
That's fair.
It's very much so. So DeLon, this was DeLon's pick. DeLon, what made you choose Jack Harlow?
Yes, sir. So Jack Harlow out of Louisville. I found out about Jack Harlow in 2017. What was the album called? Gazebo. It had a song called Dark Night on it. Listened to it. I was like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. He came out with another album the next year called Loose. And I swear to you, every song on that album tape. Every song on that tape goes. Every single one. He had a song there called Cody Banks. He got a song there called, what's it called? Drip Drop with Sci-Hi the Prince. I'm like, how did he get a Sci-Hi feature? I don't know.
He check that one out.
He gets the same team around him. He gets features on every album from this dude, 2 for 1. Same production by the whole group. His production's always great. This year, though, He did that breakthrough song. He dropped the song "What's Poppin'," and that song shot the charts. That song just got a remix featuring Lil Wayne, DaBaby, and Tory Lanez.
Great.
That song is making great moves.
That video is fire.
That video is fire. It was the Lyrical Lemonade video.
I love that video.
He signed to Generation Me, which is DJ Drama's label. Some people may know him from 2018, his beef with Lil Uzi. You know, when DJ Drama posted a picture with Jack Harlow, said, "This is my artist now," and then Lil Uzi had a comment underneath. He said, "Oh, blah 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 blah," and then Jack Harlow said, "We love Lil Uzi here." And then people got his head. But most importantly, he is a white man who has an actual skill set. And uses his caucasity for good. He has been at all the Black Lives Matter protests. He led one in Louisville.
You love to see it.
Doing the right things.
I love his ability to make catchy music. Like, listen, like I didn't, when DeLon picked him, I'm like, this really DeLon?
Who's this?
The first thing I did was I looked, Googled, and pictures of him pop up. So like pictures like the one that was just on that card. And I'm like, who is this? I had never actually heard any music by him at all. This was my first introduction to him. So I went and put his mixtape on. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm bobbing my head to it. I'm like, okay, this guy's pretty good with the hook. He's pretty good at he has a pretty nice flow to accentuate the beats and things that he's picking. To the point that I wasn't really too much paying attention to what he would be saying, but it moves me. Like, it makes me want to move my body and want me to want to dance. Love the video for What's Poppin'. I love the remix. I'm glad that he put a new verse down on the song. I think I like everybody's verse on there. Who was your favorite verse on that song, DeLon? Who would you say?
I'll go Jack Harlow's original version, then I'll say Tory, Jack, Baby Wayne.
Okay. Wayne last. I'd agree with that.
But I just want to say something about Jack. Like how you said, like the thing about Jack for me personally, like when we asked each other and we put it out, on Twitter, like what was our favorite projects of the year so far, and Jack, his what was it called? Sweet Action. Sweet Action made it on mine. Even though it's only 7 tracks, but it's just like, so when I heard What's Poppin', I'm like, yo, like this song is obviously a hit. But before I actually went back and listen to his other songs, I'm thinking like, oh, he's just gonna be like rap, because like he has a great flow. But I'm thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna hear 7 tracks of this, But then I listen to Sweet Action. Obviously, What's Poppin' is the first one. He's got some like the last song on there is when May Comes. It's slow. Like, it's kind of like introspective. He kind of like talking about like how him and his team like came up. He's like real, just And then probably one of my favorite songs of the summer. I heard it at the club like 2 weeks ago. I Want to See Some Ass. That's my shit. Not gonna lie, that song hit.
You was in the club 2 weeks ago, John.
I was gonna say it. Mask gloves on. You got a hand sanitizer.
Man. You better be in there with a hazmat suit on, okay?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I had my N95, my gloves. You know what I'm saying? I was ready.
There we go.
Head to toe PPE. You feel me? But yeah, that's all I want to say. I just want to say it was also a pleasant surprise how it wasn't just What's Poppin' 7 times.
Jack Harlow is very versatile. He has a song his last album that came out last year. With Bryson Tiller, Through the Night. I thought that one was gonna go, but he didn't quite have the look on that one. I thought that was gonna go one, but he just has he has lines that stick out. When that nigga said dark hair bitch and she looked like she do. Man,
I'll say this: he isn't really corny either. I'll say this.
No,
he isn't. I'm like, from the songs I've heard, there hasn't been like a line I was like, he makes me cringe. Like he's cool. Like he is very cool without really trying to be something he's not, and he keeps himself from being corny. That's why his music is very genuine. I put it like that. That's about the best.
Sound like we gotta put some respect on DJ Drummer's name out here.
Oh, you do, and I would say this. I'm glad what happened with with Uzi trying to call him out, but try to pick at Jack Harlow. I'm glad that didn't turn a lot of negative tension against Jack Harlow and have people turn on him. So
yeah, I don't feel the need to turn my music down when I'm listening to Jack Harlow when I'm riding in the city. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like he got enough clout. I can get away with it.
There you go.
Dark haired bitch, she look like she go.
She do.
All right, so moving on to the next artist on the second team. The last artist on the second team was actually my pick, and that is Mavi, who is a young wordsmith who attends Howard. He is from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Wow, that's awesome.
His debut album, Let the Sun Talk, got a lot of critical praise around the underground music scene. He was compared a lot to what Earl did on some rap songs. But the thing is, I think the main thing they had in common was just their voice. But Mavi's just like one of those, he's a lyricist who focuses less on the hooks and he's more poetic, and he just spends the entirety of songs reflecting on what is his experience as a black man, as well as a youth growing up in America. And just what made him so special to me was just the way his lyrics jumped off the page for me, and I was able to find myself relating to the things that he was laying down in the music. It was, for me, it was an easy pick to make. To me, out of everybody we have on the list, he's the best rapper, and that's why I felt like he deserved a place on here when we talk about his terms of making metaphors, being able to actually impress you with lyrics alone, because the production on Let the Sun Talk isn't something that you will, gawk at. But like I said, when you listen to the project, it's all him. It's him. Like that, you come there, you're coming to hear him, and he puts on a show in terms of lyrical ability. That's why I picked Mavi. I'm not sure if either of y'all were really familiar with him prior to this.
I'm gonna check him out because that is a great. I don't know what to call it, but yeah, you have sold me. You've sold me on Mavi. I'm gonna check him out.
It was like October last year. I texted Jordan. I sent him the Let the Sun Talk album. I was like, "Hey Jordan, you heard this nigga Mavi?" He said, "Yeah, I launched his music like 3 months ago." I was like, "Oh." But that he was actually because I didn't really love Brandon Banks like that. He was actually my number 3 album of last year.
Okay.
Let the Sun Talk was heat. I said, "Hey, this nigga sounds like Earl Sweatshirt if he would stay on beat." And that right there, I don't know how long I've been waiting for that. 5 years. I've been waiting for Earl Sweatshirt to be on beat for 5 years, and that album is it.
Yeah, like I said, I hate to compare him to Earl, but perhaps that was his main comparison when he came out. But Let the Song Talk is like a more refined version of some rap songs when you talk about like production and the fact that he's actually rapping on beat, but their voices sound very similar. Subject matter, I guess you could say, are akin, because like I said, they're both introspective artists who talk about their life experiences as well as reflecting upon their experience onto the world. But that's pretty much where the comparison ends. Like they don't really rap. They don't really rap alike. The thing is,
they both do the sleepy voice type of thing, where their voice is like super sleepy, but they're saying actually profound things. So that's how you can kind of get lost in it, and that's where I find most of the comparison with Earl. It sounds like he's like not really trying to rap.
So with that being said, this wasn't a pick for a guy that I feel like would be a superstar in the hip hop scene, because this kind of rap doesn't appeal to radio, doesn't appeal to clubs, doesn't appeal to. You're not gonna walk in a grocery store. You're not gonna walk in a supermarket. You're not gonna hear this kind of music playing. But his ability to rap needs to be rewarded, and that's why I put him on this list.
There we go.
So shout out to Young Mavi. I'm excited for whenever the next project comes, whatever it may not be.
Shout out to Howard.
And shout out to Howard.
Shout out to Howard.
So that wraps up our second team. So now we're finally moving on to the big shots, the top tier, the guys that you guys really, really love, and we're glad that we picked and put on the list. Moving on to first team, the first artist on the first team is Childish Major, another artist. He was also my other artist that I picked. Childish Major made waves on the Dreamville album. I actually believe Childish Major was originally a member of Slum Village. I might be completely wrong.
Oh, word!
This nigga Childish Major been out for a minute.
Wait, it's not Slum Village. The group that's within Dreamville, the group that's heavily
Spillage
associated with
Village.
Spillage Village, not Slum Village. Spillage Village. He's entirely too young to be a member of Slum Village. Spillage Village.
Hey, Slum is all that word.
Yeah, so I say, hold on, something sound right about that. But anyway, I was like, first of all, I knew Corey didn't know Spillage Village like that to be that excited about the fact that he was a member of Spillage Village.
So you said Slum Village. I'm like, oh, okay.
I was like, no, something didn't sound right about that. So I think he was originally a member of Spillage Village, or maybe it was just the fact that he was just heavily associated, did a lot of features and things with them, and worked hand in hand with them. But Childish Major made waves when he was a part of the Dreamville album that came out, was heavily featured on there. And he released his debut album, Dirt Diamond Road, which was one of my favorite albums last year. Probably my top 12 albums of last year. And I listen to it all the time. The way he manipulates melodies, the way he's able to make catchy music that makes you bob your head. He doesn't overdo it with the sing-songy style of rap. He can also, take a step back and actually rap and flow over a track. And that's why I picked Childish Major for this pick. Are any of y'all like fans of Childish Major and his music or what he does?
Well, I remember that I knew I had heard of this nigga before, and I just looked it up. If you didn't know, he produced Yo E&O by Rocco in 2013.
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay. Hey. And see, I knew that.
And
see, that name sounded mad familiar, but I just couldn't think of where I knew him from. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Which, like I would just say, if you
got Ross in a lot of trouble.
Ross got Ross in a lot of trouble. But yes, he actually has some production credits and accolades behind his name. But you ain't even know being the biggest one. But yeah, I didn't really know a lot about him. I've heard some tapes from it in the past where I thought okay, he's just one of the guys who kind of does the whole melody thing, raps, but don't really be saying anything. Just kind of saying words just to get you through the song, just so you pay more attention to his melodies and flow. Mm-hmm. But Dirt Diamond Road told me that he can actually be a storyteller. Most of this album is dealing more so with relationships and love and things of that nature. And but the thing is, the most important thing is, even though he's being melodic, even though he's trying to drive the song using his flow, he's actually saying things that can resonate with the listener. And that's why, I think Childish Major, I don't foresee him being a major star. I can see him being a staple in hip hop in the future. Shout out Childish Major. Moving on to the next member, the second person on, I think Corey knows exactly who it's going to be. The second artist on the first team, it is none other than Rodway.
Nope.
There we go. None other than the man, the myth, the legend, the Florida King, a.k.a. Savage Ruben Studdard, a.k.a. Trap Marvin Sapp himself, Rod Wave. Hey, man.
Strength, pain.
I hopped on the game one day. Clay said, Corey, man, I need you to check this artist. I said, what's his name? Rod Wave. I said, I got you. I went, and usually when I check out an artist, I check out one song, and I be like, I come back. I heard Hard on Ice. I said, you know what? Let me check out one tape, then 2 tapes, then 3 tapes. Then the album came out 2 weeks later, and I checked out the album. This man does not know how to miss. This man, even okay. Rod Wave is one of those artists, no matter what type of music that you like, you have no choice but to relate to him, because he talking about something that everybody has been through in one way or another. Pain. And pain is his instrument, and he makes it work every single time. When I think of when it just comes to hip hop, especially now, we love hearing, not depressed rap, but we like hearing rappers be vulnerable. But even some of our most favorite rappers, they only do it once. Every now and then you might get one little vulnerable. A Rod Wave, you get 10 of them. Every single track, somebody didn't hurt him, stabbed him in the back, then betrayed him, this, that, and the third. And he gonna go in that studio and he gonna put his heart out on him. That's why I love the fact that he named his album Ghetto Gospel, because when I was explaining to him, y'all said, fam, it's like gospel music, but for the trenches. And he really hurt. He ain't going to the studio, oh, my girl left me, I'm just saying, I'm a Papa saying. He nah, I'm really going through it, and y'all go feel this hurt that I'm feeling, fam. It's rap, but it feel like blues. But it feel like gospel. It feel like soul.
Yes.
At the same time, when I heard, was it Crying Grandmothers, Praying Grandmothers? When you hear songs like that, you ain't got no choice but to be fam. He talking about killing stops, but he nah, fam, your grandma gonna be crying. Damn, man, my grandma gonna be crying. It's every single song, you gotta pause the song and be Jesus Christ, who hurt this man? Who a
lot of people.
When it comes to when I think of Lil Boosie, my favorite Lil Boosie song is Betrayed, because Boosie has always been can't nobody hurt me, can't nobody touch me, can't nobody do this, that, and the third, I'm untouchable, this. And he got betrayed. The judge did me dirty, my homie did me dirty, my baby mama did me dirty, this, and he's singing. and Boosie don't really sing like that. So when you feel like, so when I heard this, I'm like, yo, I ain't never seen him like it. When NBA Youngboy came out with Lonely Child, I never seen him like it. Kevin, like, you know, and if I had to compare Rod Wave to anybody, it would probably be Kevin Gates, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Kevin Gates' music. He's always had like a vulnerable factor to him. That's why I love the fact that he's mentoring Rod Wave right now. He executive produced some Ghetto Gospel. So to see him work with those type of artists, be praised by those type of artists, and now he getting the attention that he truly deserves, man. I feel like Rod Wave a really, really dope guy, and I'm ready to hear more music in the future.
I'm gonna say what, Cole, you pretty much said everything that needs to be said about Rod Wave. I mean, I 100% agree with him, man. I like him a lot. By the way, Clay said he's tired of hearing Rod Wave crying, though, so he ain't too much of a fan anymore.
I mean, Clay listens to Rod Wave and Youngboy. I mean,
he listens to a lot of pain. He listens to a lot of pain.
I'm about to say, Jordan, you might want to check up on your.
Yeah. Hey, he actually in the other room. He came back with me, but he said he taking a step back from Youngboy and Rod Wave. He said neither one of his favorite rappers.
God bless.
He finally passed that phase. So shout out to Rod Wave, a Southern legend, man. Well, Southern legend in the making. You know, we gotta represent.
He only got like 2 happy songs too. That's what really killed me. He only got like 2 happy songs. He got Yes Sir and Calabasas. That's it. Everything else, that's that pain.
That pain do be hitting though.
That pain do be hitting. I ain't gonna hold you.
So now we've pretty much gone down the entire list. There's only one last person who we have not revealed on the Rookie Report. And the last person who is the last member of the first team is none other than the homie Nate Joel.
Love to see it.
Nate Joel is an artist from Maryland that me and DeLon had the pleasure of interviewing some months back. Dope MC with incredible wordplay. He gives me that in terms of like his production style that he raps over, and also the way that he raps. He makes me think of a member of Dreamville. Very soulful, very what's the word I'm looking for, DeLon? Very thoughtful. In terms of thoughtful and reflective in terms of like on what he's doing, but also at the same time he's not all thoughtful and reflective. He's able to make some hype music, things of that nature. He actually speaks more highly of like Drake. He's a big fan of Drake, if I do remember correctly. So he tries to ride that line of being able to make thoughtful and reflective music, but also being able to make that hype kind of music that makes you want to bob your head and nod to it. Making waves.
Get the head out your heart.
Please go. Get the head out your heart for Drake. But Nate Joel is
okay. Can I just say this? When y'all send him music, I'm like, yo, this super duper dope. This, that, and the third. I follow him, and every time I see him on Twitter, it's like, man, y'all be on Drake. I be like, no, not you. You different. Yo, music different. I actually rock with this. And I was like, man, Nate. I'm gonna get that hate in my heart though. I actually been defending Drake for like the past 2 weeks.
You have. I'm proud of you for it. It's called growth.
I don't know about it.
But Nate, like, he's been making waves on Twitter. You can follow him at Nate Joel on Twitter. He's been making waves on Twitter as well as YouTube. With one of my favorite things about Nate is his visuals. The guy,
videos do be hidden.
I looked it up. I wanted to make sure to say his name. Nate Joel's shots have been directed by Steven Mueller. You can follow him on Twitter at Steven STEVENMUELA. Make sure to follow him. That man does amazing videos. Nate does he's been doing 1-minute videos for the last year, where he just packs in so much with story, lyricism. The beat selection's amazing, and you can see that they really take care with that 1-minute package as a whole. I'm surprised he actually puts them out as quickly as he does, because from the song to the video, it's crazy.
Especially the video, like they be all over the city. They be all
in the middle in New York. Oh, yo,
yeah. But the thing, don't say that he don't be around any people in the video, so he's definitely practicing the 6 feet rule. So don't worry about Nate. But I would highly recommend.
Love to see it.
He was so that's it. That's the Rookie Report. That's our first team all Rookie Report. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you listen to this entire episode, I believe this will be our first episode back from our hiatus. I'm gonna tell you what, miss doing this. Might have felt a little rusty going through the motions of doing this again, but glad to be back.
We back.
Yeah, we back, and I'm glad to be back. If you are listening to this on YouTube, make sure you give us a like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. If you listen to this on any streaming services, make sure you give us 5 stars on Apple Music. Make sure you share it with a friend, or make sure you go check us out on YouTube if you're just listening to this.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button, man. Please
hit the bell for notifications.
But
don't forget to share it to a friend.
Also, since we back, let me go ahead and say we should. That's weird. We should have a new logo. New logo means new merch is coming, so expect that to be rolling out pretty soon. You know what I'm saying, shirts and the hoodies.
Yeah.
So
you see it.
So I hope you all are excited about what we have in store for you in terms of movies, artist interviews, merch, and just general tomfoolery that we already do on the podcast week to week. Thank you all for tuning in to the episode of the Popular Man podcast. Tune in next week for another episode of your favorite podcast. See you then.
Music gang out.